Welcome to Equal Entertainment. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. More than 700 actors and industry leaders are condemning the Hamas attack on Israel and demanding the safe return of hostages. Gal Gadot, Jamie Lee Curtis, and others signed an open letter titled Israel Under Attack to express their unwavering support for Israel. The nonprofit Creative Community for Peace also urges people to stop spreading misinformation about the conflict. Other stars on the list include Mayim Bialik, Liev Schreiber, Amy Schumer, Jerry Seinfeld, Mark Hamill, and Ryan Murphy. Actress Gal Gadot is quoted as saying, "My heart is aching for the lives lost and families shattered. I'm praying for everyone who has been affected by Hamas terrorism and brutality, and I hope that the world remains steadfast in their support of the Israeli people." Talks between the Actors Union and studios are now on hold, and now Union President Fran Drescher is responding. Drescher says the suspension came as a shock to her. The studios rejected SAG-AFTRA's latest offer, citing the high viewership bonus item in the deal. The union says the studios failed to give any counters on AI protections or residuals from streaming. As for future plans, Drescher says there are no meetings set and the union is willing to hold out. The latest Out magazine cover is here celebrating the upcoming release of the Out100 list. The 2023 Out100 icon is musician Brandi Carlile. Out magazine editor-in-chief Daniel Reynolds and I both agree that the Out100 icon honor couldn't have gone to a better person. Hi, welcome Daniel Reynolds, editor-in-chief of Out magazine. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thanks for having me, Tracy. It's always a pleasure.
Of course. Well, we are here to talk about the Out100. Very exciting. And I want to begin by asking you to share a little bit about the history of the Out100 and what its legacy means for the queer community.
Well, the Out100 will be celebrating its 30th anniversary next year, which is pretty remarkable. And this really is Out Magazine's it's our big list. It's also our just most anticipated issue of the year. It's our opportunity to acknowledge all of the LGBT folks in culture and business and beyond who have made a change for the better for our community in the past year. I think what's exciting about this list is that when it first started, I think it was a bit of a struggle to find 100 people, and now today we get thousands of submissions. From fans and publicists, and I mean, just the folks themselves, of people who are doing such amazing things for us, and it really is an embarrassment of riches. Being able to look through all these names and seeing all the accomplishments of the members of our community that are really just making things better for us.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you for that. And given that it is an embarrassment of riches, would you talk a bit about the process of picking these 100 LGBTQ plus folks and how you and the Out staff go about that?
Sure, yeah. I mean, really, the editorial team for the Out100 keeps a running list throughout the year in our reporting of major events and politics and culture. There are just people that stand out as sort of the focal points of the headlines that we are writing about. So we have an ongoing list in the background, and then we have a list that's open to publicists and to the public, and we accept submissions publicly as well. So we have these giant Excel spreadsheets that we look through, and we vet the different names, and we go in a back and forth with the talent themselves. As I mentioned this in the piece, but we're also in the middle of a historic writers' strike for Hollywood. So, that's added, an interesting wrinkle to our process this year. There were actors that declined to be on this list, not because they couldn't be on the list, but because they wanted to express solidarity with SAG-AFTRA or the Writers Guild, which just resolved their strike. But so, at the end of the day, that we look at all those names, we review them, and then the offer letters go out.
Yeah, wonderful. I wonder, could you lean into that a little bit more about having to pivot away from certain actors, and maybe what sorts of avenues do you think that opened up in terms of looking at other kinds of folks?
Well, I think it kind of reminded me that, the world isn't all Hollywood.
It isn't.
Yes. So, I live in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
And Out magazine. So my work is steeped in a lot of interviews and junkets and screenings. And so I think it just really was, obviously it's unfortunate that a lot of big names couldn't participate, but, it was also an opportunity to really look at the other fields, of give space to other folks that are making a positive difference that aren't movie or television stars. So, I think our cover story is a great example. You have Brandi Carlile, who is not an actor, but she is such a huge name in music. And I think that this year in particular, the strike really gave a push for somebody like Brandi.
Yeah.
So, it's really exciting because it's kind of insane that she hasn't been on a cover of Out magazine before. And so to be able to do that and also have it to be the Out100 issue is so exciting for us.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I wanted to ask you more about Brandi Carlile as your cover star. Now, when you're looking for the cover star, what is the story that you want to tell with that person's accomplishments?
So for the Out100 cover star, in past years, it's been a little easier because we've had multiple covers, anywhere from 4 to 6, maybe even 7 for some years. And so, there's been an opportunity to really showcase different fields, different parts of the LGBTQ plus spectrum. So the challenge this year for us was like, oh my God, we have one person to represent this entire list. Who could possibly check all of these boxes that we're looking for? And I think Brandi does a pretty good job of checking a lot of them, which is, she's just, an artist, who is one of the standout singers of her generation, of multiple generations, really. I mean, as I talked about in my editor's letter, she really is a timeless voice that speaks across, different identities, different ages. And so she has this appeal, that different members of the LGBTQ plus know her, they adore her. And she also, through her accomplishments outside of music, through her foundation, through just using her voice as an activist, she is a person that is moving the envelope, that is, expanding LGBTQ equality, that's creating safe spaces for all of us with her words, just by listening to her, or attending one of her concerts. So, I'm just really proud that she's on the cover of this list. And that she agreed to it.
Oh, wonderful. Well, and she also agreed to, despite her crazy busy schedule of performing at her own concerts and with Pink around the country and various other appearances, she found time to do a photo shoot for Out. And would you talk a bit about what it was like at the shoot?
The Brandi Carlile photo shoot. It was really exciting because initially we were informed that, oh my gosh, she's so busy with this touring, there wouldn't be time. And then the publicist got back and we got an hour with her. And we're like, we're going to make this work. This is going to be fabulous. And it actually worked out because she was staying in West Hollywood at the time. And the photographer we had been working with, Luke Fontana, his studio was actually right in West Hollywood. Yeah. And, it wasn't this, big sort of corporate feel. It was really in his living room that he had transformed into a studio space. It felt very intimate. I remember when Brandi walked in, she started thumbing through Luke's records, and she was started humming and singing a little bit to one of the songs, and like the entire room got quiet, and you could hear. I mean, even just with she was singing softly, the power in her voice, her beauty and majesty as a performer, as we've all seen everywhere from the Grammy stage and now in like a West Hollywood living room. So it felt really special, to be able to witness that experience. We still got 4 looks in within an hour, which in terms of editorial is pretty amazing. So we were very efficient. We had a really great creative team. The shots looked great. So it was a really cool experience.
You can watch the Advocate channel live by downloading our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. For the Advocate channel, I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and thank you for watching.